I mean, really now, who doesn't watch a game of tennis for its gripping narrative? Mario Tennis Aces, an interesting package this one is. Mechanically, oh boy, this game could surpass Smash Ultimate as Nintendo's fighting game of the year. The whole concept of building up a meter that you can use to either slow down time, perform a trick shot, maybe secure a point with a zone shot, it's so good. This is easily, by far, the best Mario Tennis has ever been, and having online play certainly helps. Sure, you can just play against CPUs, but schooling real-life people feels so much better. Just kidding, I suck. Content-wise, though? Whew, boy, what happened here? Now let's take a quick look at Mario Power Tennis. Hell yeah, now this is a game. It's just great all around, man. The mechanics are solid, tournaments were enjoyable to go through just to see what wacky celebration scene would pop up at the end. And there was so many things you could do. There's a variety of courts to play on, to play either normal tennis, you got the classic ring shot mode, you can play with items a la Mario Kart. Each themed court also had a specific gimmick that you can play with, spicing things up while also calling back to other Mario franchises. There's a court based on the original Mario Bros, for crying out loud, that's awesome! And this is all on top of a bunch of special mini-games that can be played with a few friends. Oh, and of course we can't forget about that 5-minute long opening too, the game is a must-play for this alone. They even made a blooper reel for the opening cutscene. That's just incredible.
Sorry, bro.
You can even play with worse motion controls if you want. Even Mario Tennis 64 had a good amount of content. The standard tennis, obviously, an item mode on a Bowser-themed court, a Piranha Plant-themed rallying mode, ring shot, of course being there as well, and even the introduction of a brand new character that would go on to be neglected in the years following release. Blue Mario. Just doesn't get the love that he deserves, you know? I think he should be in Smash. You were even able to attach the Game Boy version to this to transfer over your characters and unlock new content in both games. Super cool. And you want to keep talking about Mario Tennis, how can I possibly forget Mario's Tennis on the Virtual Boy? Alright, I'm digging too far into this rabbit hole. In Aces, you can play tennis. Yeah, that's about it. Like I said, online play definitely helps, but you can't set up tournaments to play with others like you can in Mario Kart, which I just find to be a weird omission. So I don't know what happened over the years, but somewhere along the line, the developers at Camelot Games seem to have forgotten that when it comes to a Mario sports game, it should be Mario first, sports game second. That seems to have been reversed, which is not the best thing they should do. If I wanted to play a legitimate sports game, I would just go outside and play legitimate sports. Phew, boy, that sure was fun. You know what else is fun in a tennis game? A story! That's right, for the first time in ever, Mario Tennis now has an adventure mode. It's actually the first thing that you're greeted with when turning on the game. Okay, that's actually not true. The first thing that you see when you boot the game is this image. No special opening cutscene at all. Okay. The story begins with Luigi holding an evil tennis racket that unleashes a dark evil known as Lucian into the world, capturing Wario and Waluigi in its spell as well. And it's up to Mario to explore Tennis Island to find the Power Stones before Lucian gets a hold of them and takes over the world or something. This is a tennis game.
What the?
This is essentially a glorified mission mode. Each spot on the map tasks you with different things to do. Sometimes it is just a standard game of tennis, but sometimes it's to knock down a bunch of enemies, hit the ball so your opponent doesn't rally it back, hit a bunch of gates for points, and more, with the game changing up its location pretty often. The problem though is that a lot of these missions repeat, and while some of them do get slightly more difficult as you progress, I managed to beat them all on my second or third try. There's also no retry option, so if you know you're gonna fail, you gotta go back to the map, skip some more dialogue, and then wait for the mission to start back up. It's 2018, how is that still a thing? The boss battles though, this is where the mode shines. These were awesome! All of the fights utilize your skills and make sure that you're good at them to successfully get through them. It just sucks that there aren't enough of them. I wish there were more. Boss fights in a tennis game is a phrase that is so weird and stupid that I need an infinite number of them. Ultimately though, the adventure mode is just okay. It's certainly not enough of a replacement for the stuff that Power Tennis did before it. Especially since you can't play the minigames outside of the adventure mode with friends. That's really lame. You want to know the best part about this mode? This guy right here. I have no idea what they're all doing, but I can watch this all day. What's interesting about this mode is that when Nintendo first announced the game, they were hyping up this adventure mode to be a bit of a callback to the Game Boy games and their story modes. No. I made an entire video in the past covering the single-player mode of Mario Tennis Game Boy Color, a story pitting you as a newbie in a tennis academy fighting your way up the ranks to eventually take on Mario, the best at tennis, I guess. It was a really neat idea. Sure, playing as a human in a human-filled world on a Mario game is weird, but it's a way for you as the player to sort of be in the world that Mario is also in. Sorta like how the trainer in a Pokemon game is supposed to be an extension of you. The sequel, Power Tour, provides basically more of the same with a nicer coat of paint. The music is higher quality, aesthetically it's a lot prettier, there are these training minigames you can do now that are used to level you up, and it even acts as a proper sequel to the last game. Like for example, the boy that you can play as in that game, actually named Alex, shows up as a higher up in the academy now. Continuity in my Mario sports games, that is what I'm looking for. And yeah, you can also level up in Aces as well, but since you're restricted to the missions of that mode, it's not as satisfying as doing a bunch of training and then wiping away your peers. Also, the game just kinda looks exactly like Golden Sun, a proper RPG made by the same developers. I just think that's funny. Also, I would like to point out that Power Tour does have a unique intro, meanwhile Aces doesn't. Come on! I'm not asking for much here. Just a couple of minutes of animation, you know, give me the origin story to why Mario decided to finally stop wearing his overalls to play tennis. I'll take that, come on. At the end of the day, is Mario Tennis Aces a bad game overall? Kinda, yeah. As I said before, the core game is a ton of fun, and playing it with a bunch of people, either online or in person, is a blast. And if that's enough for you, cool. But it is lacking so much about what made Mario sports games fun in the first place, and it's now just kind of gonna be known as a worthwhile upgrade to Ultra. I don't even want to speak its name. And you know what? Let's be real here. Tennis is the weakest of the 4 main Mario sports games anyway, so we can only go up from here. Oh, snap. Hot take. Now, one can argue that despite everything I've said thus far, it doesn't really matter, this game is still worth a shot because a Chain Chomp is finally playable for the first time ever. Is that really enough justification for that? It would appear so. Good point.